Nick Wright will be here shortly. I'm sure he has some thoughts on the Nico Harrison firing. This is a tweet from Ian Begley. Heard several Mavs players this season have preferred to play on the road rather than playing home games due to the charged atmosphere as it relates to Nico Harrison. They weren't passing judgment on fans, more so just having a human reaction to atmosphere. The Mavs have played 7 of 10 at home. I cannot explain to you guys what a historic poisoning of a well this was that one man was made to be the scapegoat on and the face of when he's not the only one responsible for this. Do not allow new ownership to hide behind this person whose carcass they throw in the street as a laughing stock because they traded away the most popular thing they've had in basketball since Dirk Nowitzki and maybe ever. They traded away a historic sports superstar, bigger than all the ones on all the other teams in the markets that you've cared about. All of them. Dak Prescott is not this. Whatever you think, Jerry Jones is the Cowboys. The biggest thing in that market as a superstar athlete was this in its prime. Took you to the finals, and it was going to be the beginning of growth. Ownership did that, and there's a carcass in the street, and it'll never work again, and we will laugh at it because it will ultimately be responsible for this. But know that that responsibility, the power structure on that, does not die at his doorstep. That goes well above him. The Mavs ownership has poisoned this and its fan base, thrown away all of Mark Cuban's goodwill. All of it. Not a little bit of it. Everything Mark Cuban built there for 30 years, new ownership, threw that in the street and let its fans eat it. And so don't let this man take this alone. This is top-heavy ownership. This is everything that leads the Mavericks, has desecrated the 20 years that came before it with this trade and this firing 8 months later. This is the height of economic and executive incompetence.
This is not over, though. Like, it's good right now. The fan base is happy, I'm sure, that Nico Harrison's gone, and they're not going to chant fire Nico anymore. But that anger is now just going to transfer to Patrick Dumont. Like, this atmosphere in that building is not over. Maybe it would be a little bit better if Anthony Davis were healthy and actually playing. They're going to, maybe, in 6 months when Kyrie Irving returns, it'll feel a little bit better. But this team sucks.
No, you have to hit on Cooper Flagg. Like,
yes.
and this can.
Oh, but they are hitting on him. Like, he looks good.
No, but this can swallow him. Like, this is how you build the next part of the story. The only way to actually I'm not even going to say repair or put balm on what this particular wound is because it's so emotional and sort of personal. Again, I just can't say it enough. Superstar in his prime that everyone cares about internationally, you just don't get the 10 years of promise of that. And so Cooper Flagg has to be something close to as good as him. It's the only way. It's not even balm. It just soothes a little bit. The scar of this will last. Like, you wreck a generation of fans here. Like, you wound kids with this in a way that Cooper Flagg gets that crucifix.
It's a top-down situation, obviously, from the ownership. They have to sign off on the trade. Is there any sort of flack or any sort of, like, hey, what's going on with Mark Cuban? Right?
I said that months ago.
He didn't need to sell his portion of the team.
I said that months ago, that Cuban has completely skated in this scenario. He gets to sit there and play this victim. Oh, I wasn't consulted. I wouldn't have done it. I didn't have any control. He sold the team to these people because he wanted the highest dollar value. That's fine. But he sold the team to these people who very clearly have no interest in basketball. There appears to be an ulterior motive, casinos, this, that. He chose to sell to these people, and now he sits there as if he's some kind of victim. Why didn't you make sure you were the caretaker of the franchise? Make sure if you're going to sell the team to somebody, you're giving it over to someone who is going to take just as good care of the team as you did, or take by far the most money possible. And that's what he chose.
And the bullshit of the year was like, oh, no, I'm going to still be involved in basketball. No, you're not, buddy. You sold the team. Yeah. You know who makes decisions? People that write the check.
Yeah.
You got the check. It's over. There's nothing for you to say. They don't have to consult you for.
Don't they need to trade Anthony Davis now? Because with Nico Harrison gone, Anthony Davis is going to remain the face.
They should totally
of all
start
of
over.
This.
They should.
Yes.
They should totally start over.
Start over with Cooper Flagg and go from there.
Hello.
All right. Before we get to Nick Wright here, can you give me Ethel Merman's hello? And can you give me just some history of Ethel Merman as Greg Cody keeps the show in the demo that we've always wanted it in? He sounds like Ethel Merman. Get me Ethel Merman sounding like Ethel Merman.
Hello.
What is that?
That is an old woman singing, and so as well is this.
Hello.
Give me just the history of Ethel Merman real quick. I've got to get younger here on Greg Cody Tuesdays.
Ethel Merman, born in 1908, died in 1984, performing on Broadway in Anything Goes, Annie Get Your Gun, Gypsy, and, of course, Hello, Dolly.
That's her classic, Hello, Dolly. You kidding me? Ethel Merman, that kind of thing.
Nick Wright with us now, and he's the host of FS1's First Things First. What's Right with Nick Wright is the podcast I keep urging you to listen to because he does it with his son, and it is charming, it's endearing, it's humanizing. I don't think
Thank you, Dan.
I don't believe people get to see this side of you that often.
Well, so is that a shot at the viewership numbers of the pod? Because if that's charming, they get to see it quite often. It's 3 days a week, mass platformed. But on that note, this is kind of a perfect synergy because you're talking about the show getting younger. I'm about to make the show feel a hell of a lot older because I am not doing the podcast. Greg's gonna love this. With my son for the next few weeks because he is out because as of yesterday he's on paternity leave, which means Greg Cody, I'm with you on Team Grandpa.
What?
You and me. I need to brush up on the Ethel Merman news because we're not getting younger, boys. We're getting older.
Congratulations.
Woo!
Grandpa Nick Wright.
Grandpa Nick Wright.
Man.
How about that? I know, man. It's gotta be so confusing to people that just casually drop into this show or my show or the pod or whatever. If I get, referenced as a grandfather and they're like, wait,
Yeah.
the guy with the gambling problem and the jewelry who, is like, that guy's a grandfather. Nobody understands it. I'll be honest, I don't totally understand it. But it is what it is. And so, so that's the big news. That's as of 2 days ago. And I gotta think, I think the last grandfather because Wilbon or Kornheiser, one of them's gotta be, right? That wasn't me being fresh. Like, I don't know but I was going to say, am I the first grandfather on daytime sports TV since your dad? Okay, so you're not talking Lee Corso category. You want the grandpa? Hold on, I thought you were feuding with Pablo and Mina. Now you want the grandpa demo? I want it all. I want it all. And by the way, I'm not feuding. I'm not feuding with Mina. And I thought, I thought Mina's tweet this weekend was pitch perfect and really well done, and I'm very excited. I mean, on pins and needles, refreshing the feed for the only, honest journalist left in America for the long-form episode on, what is that Stephen A. Solitaire app all about? Listen, no sacred cows, I'm sure. I'm sure Pablo's furiously working on it. And I know he's got a lot of irons in the fire. But it feels like it's like, is it gambling? Is it not? Sports people? Listen, the Phil Mickelson texts are great, and I'm all in for it. It gets a little stickier to do this story, but, the journalism goes wherever the story is. I'm excited to hear the episode. Hi, Greg.
How you doing, Nick? Hey, do you have the over or under on the delivery date for your
Well,
grandchild?
2 days ago.
I would have. That bet's in. She was a few days late. My wife's out there.
2 days ago. Wait a minute. What
Yeah,
kind of
that's right,
question
Greg.
is that?
I
Greg's
said
an
as
older
of 2
guy.
days ago. He said it like a minute
Guys,
ago.
that kind of thing, don't worry about it.
Exactly, that kind of thing. I thought it was a pending birth. I didn't know it was.
No. Greg, it's fine. It's fine, Greg. Don't worry about it, buddy.
I
He's
appreciate
just
that.
asking, and you know what? I was going to play along. I was going to act like, I had the over and I lost.
you.
I knew it was a mistake, but it doesn't matter. Greg, us old folks got to stick together.
I hear you.
Us old
I hear
guys gotta
that.
stick together.
You look like my
These
grandson.
young kids.
The hell's going on?
I know. This is unbelievable. So that's the news, Dan.
Congratulations. I am
thank you.
thrilled. I am thrilled for you, and I didn't realize that the Poppy Lane is open on being a grandpa publicly, growing up in front of sports fans as a grandpa. I actually want to tackle the thicket of the gambling stuff with you because
Sure.
you are somebody who must be fascinated, like really riveted by everything that's happening here, from the amateurism surrounding Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups, and just how buffoonish all of this is. The FBI, the NBA investigation, the mafia, all of it seems pretty dumb. Then you have the baseball scandal, which gets less attention, and I'm not sure why. When you're talking about, you're going to get lifetime bans there as well. One of them from one of the great closers in the game. How do you take the macro?
And then there's the poker piece, which, again, I don't want Pablo knocking on my door, but and maybe I should respond to some of his text messages. Bad job by me, but I mean, I read those indictments, the full indictments, and I'm like, oh, I recognize at least two of those names. Like the poker piece was real. Like, those are not games that I play in, but those are, you know, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, we'd be a couple degrees.
But when you're reading the details on this, even the most amateur of poker players would know that those games were rigged in a way that's not sophisticated. Like
I disagree with that. I think the way those games were rigged was super sophisticated. I think that any person that regularly plays poker for real money knows, hey, one of the skills of being someone who plays cards for money is being able to sense out if the game's on the level or not. But there are a lot of ways people, Dan, and I know we can get to the sports betting piece of this, but just on the poker piece, because this is like super, I'm really in that. And it's one of the reasons, so let me just back up a little bit real quick. One of the reasons I travel all the way to Vegas, and if I can't get to Vegas, I go to Philadelphia, or that I play in that game from last month that's too big for me, is because I want the certainty of the following three things: that the game is not being cheated, that the game is going to get paid at the end of it, that the game is not going to be, you're not going to be sitting in a card game and have the cops come in because someone's either selling drugs out of one of the rooms or because it's an illegal casino where they're taking a rake. So the game that I play in New York that's too big for me to play in really is totally legal because no one's taking a rake. Like, you can play poker with your friends for $10 a man or $10 million a man, and it's totally legal as long as the house is not taking a cut. And so whenever you venture outside of the casino, you run the risk of different types of cheating. The most common type of cheating is collusion, which is you, me, Greg, the shipping. There's 7 of us playing together, and 6 of us have all said, hey, we're going to chop up each other's winnings and losings. And then poor Greg, so basically it's all of us against Greg. Like, that's a way to get someone, you get someone big in the game and they can't win because it's 1-on-6 basically. So that happens a lot, and you got to be careful of it. There is people, just 2 people having pieces of each other. So Dan, you and I are in a game, and you have 50% of my action, I have 50% of your action. So we're incentivized to have the other person do well, which changes how we play, which is kind of okay, but certainly not okay if it's not disclosed to everyone. That happens, and you've got to be aware of it.
Victims known as, quote, fish.
Yeah, exactly. What is being alleged here is the rigged shuffling machine is very sophisticated.
Yes.
And scary. And the marked cards is not sophisticated in that it's obviously been done for years, but having it done on that level is surprising. And so, yeah, like that's unrelated to the sports betting, except for the fact it gave you a little bit of a window that, oh man, some of these guys might be in more money trouble than I thought and be putting themselves in worse positions than I thought. I think I have the fix to the sports betting piece.
What was the original question? Just talk about poker for 20 minutes?
Well, this is the problem with him, and sometimes if you allow
Did I do
him,
a bad job
no,
there?
no, you didn't
Was
do a
that
bad.
bad?
No, look, that
I
is
thought that was informative.
Don't let them get to you, Nick.
Hey, where's the date, by the way?
Nick, you did not do a poor job with that. That was absolutely good
Making sure.
content that was super nourishing for the ill-informed as someone who comes from the inside of this world. The thing that I was saying that wasn't sophisticated is just when the cards are landing the way they are, there's not a way to bet that the cards are going to be gut shots on the river and you get it right every time. Like, that seems super unsophisticated. But the next...
Well, yes. So you shouldn't. So here's what I'll say, just very quickly, and put me on a damn timer, Chris Cody. I thought I was actually. You guys can do more Ethel Merman sound drops. I thought I was actually being helpful here. But you should not be able to be scammed more than twice by the same group. I was in. God dog it. Where was I? I played in a game that I am certain was rigged in Milan. But I played in it once.
What was the giveaway?
I kind of caught him, but there's nothing I could do. And it was
in Rounders, you just grabbed his hand?
Was there a hanger?
It was a private game in a casino, but it was private. It was in a casino.
James Bond?
I shouldn't have played. As soon as I got there and they're like, oh, there's a bigger game upstairs you can play in, I should have been like, that's a bad idea. But I was an idiot. And I was winning a very little bit. And then I told them, I was like, hey, I got one more round, then I got to leave. And second to last hand was one of these setup hands like that you hear about. But those happen. Those happen just organically, or it could be a setup. Where I get aces, someone else has queens, all the money goes in pre, and a queen comes out, and I lose. I'm like, God dog it. Bad luck. And so that I did not know it was rigged because of that. I was like, it's bad luck. And I left. And then about 3 minutes after I left, when I go to get my wife who's playing blackjack, I'm like, oh, man, I left my sweatshirt up there. And I went back, and as I'm walking back, I hear them all talking about it and laughing. I'm like, God dog it. Bad job by me. It's like, that's a bad job by me. It's a bad job by me. But I did that to myself.
I
could
love
have
the
played in a
sentence,
safer
though.
game.
The sentence, though, I played in a game that was rigged in Milan. It really did.
Thinks he's James Bond, dude.
It did make him sound like James Bond, did it not?
Yes.
Even though he's the sucker in the story.
I'm the sucker. I'm the sucker.
The other part of this, though, outside of the poker, and you took out Stephen A. Smith, and you took
What
out.
do you mean? I didn't take out anybody. I'm just waiting for the only journalist left in America to, listen, maybe that'll make cocktail parties a little uncomfortable at times. I just want the truth. But go ahead.
Pablo Torre, do you have anything else for him? You've been very critical of his award-winning podcast.
I've not been critical. I have not been critical at all of his podcast, actually. I've been very complimentary.
Critical
and
of
I
him.
think the
critical of his high.
I do. I've not. I have, guy, listen, just like Pablo, I just call balls and strikes. And, so occasionally, do I notice something like Pablo somehow having fresh, ready, available on his phone, a New York Times screenshot from 2019 because his old Harvard econ professor got an obit when he passed, and uses that to when someone questions his credentials? I'm no economist, but I did take a semester of microeconomics and a semester of macro. Also, my professor was literally this guy, and then just saved screenshot from the guy's New York Times obituary. Do I find that adorable? Of course I do. Because everyone does. I just evidently, everyone's decided, man, that someone should say something to Pablo. We don't want to. I bet Nick will take care of it for us. So I will take on that burden. But the podcast is great and deserves all of the flowers, and it has been fearless, which is, so I just want to learn more about the Solitaire app. But you had a question for me about the prop betting before we get to your and my big bet, which I've set up beautifully.
Yes, thank you. Outside of the poker elements of this that are fascinating to you, the prop elements of this, they're obviously going to get control of this. You're not going to be able to bet individual pitches anymore. And explain to me how we arrive at Emmanuel Clase over what is reported as, $400,000 is risking his career for $400,000. I thought that some of these players made too much money to be tempted by the prop bets.
I think there is a level of unsophistication from non-gamblers about how easy it is to flag those types of irregularities. And so I think it's as simple as it's perceived as a victimless crime, and how are you going to prove it? So I just think it's like ignorance to, it is going to be so easy to catch you. I think that guy probably thought, I throw a bad first pitch all the time. Prove it. And so I think that is, I think people don't realize that any market that there's typically, very low volume on, that all of a sudden has huge volume on it, that always means there's inside information. Always. And so the rub is, here is what is true. Pre-massive legalized gambling, there were more games, particularly on the collegiate level, that someone would be on the take on, and we would not find out because there wasn't a database of the bets because it was done at bars and, with bookies or whatever it is. So it is true that legalized gambling has made it way easier and quicker to root out actual game fixing, or a player on a college team, they're favored by 17 and it's like, okay, we can still win, just not cover. That stuff, thanks to legalized gambling, will be discovered instantaneously. What is also true is, pre-legalized gambling, you could not make these individual player prop bets. They did not exist. Certainly first pitch, certainly Terry Rozier unders and overs, those didn't exist. So how do we account for that? And I think it's very simple. I think there are very easy ways, because I have said make them one-way markets, which means only offer overs on individual player performance bets. That would fix a lot of this. That also, again, I don't want to get too in the weeds, but is really bad for the bettor, and I don't want that, because the thing a two-way market shows you is what the fair price is. So if we set Steph Curry's total points at 25.5, and the over is minus 140, and the under is plus 100, so you then see, okay, so there is a 20-cent vig that it should be, minus 120 is where the equilibrium is. You see how much the vig is. If you only have overs available to you, you don't see what the fair market price is. So I don't love that for the bettor, for the consumer. So I do think the workaround, Dan, is this. I think all of these places saying essentially for anything other than star players, the player prop market has very low limits, like $50. And you can, because what they want is parlays anyway, because that's what everybody loves to bet these days. So you could have 17 player props in a parlay and still have it. So I think you just have to put very low limits on non-superstar player props.
And the superstar is uncontaminated because there's too much to risk, too much money involved. It would cost too much to get in the game. Okay, so what other, before we get to our bet and before I get your thoughts on Nico Harrison being let go, because you just can't let a guy you're going to fire 8 months later make that trade, Nick. Like that's
I don't think they had any idea they were going to fire him. And I heard your guys blasting Mark Cuban. That's so unfair. And I'm not. It's not even like I'm a huge Cuban fan, even though it does appear he and I have very similar feelings on podcasts. But I do think that if I had my family home that my family's lived in for 100 years, and it's like, you know what, it's time to sell. The market's great, and I sell it to an otherwise seemingly normal person, and then 3 months later they light it on fire. I don't think it'd be fair for like my son to be like, why didn't you see that coming, Dad? That's where we grew up. I'm like, well, I didn't think they were going to burn it to the ground for sport. Yeah. Like, I don't think Cuban could have saw they're going to trade Luka Doncic in the middle of the night because Nico Harrison is so bothered by the fact that there's someone in the organization more powerful than him.
Yeah, your home doesn't have fans though, Nick. Like the only people who care about the home are the people living in the home at the time. The franchise has millions and millions of people who care about it.
My home has
fans.
Yes,
but he didn't sell it to. Hold on, he had no reason to think he was selling it to. How would he anticipate? If I sell the Mavs to the Adelsons who own casinos, they are then going to put in charge the son-in-law, who is then going to empower Nico Harrison, who is then going to make the single worst trade in 100 years of sports. Like, I don't get what you're saying. Like, it'd been one thing if he's like, hey, guys, I'm selling the team to the Paul brothers, and they're gonna do. Or I'm selling the Mavs to Mr. Beast, and he's gonna start holding contests for who's gonna be on the team. Then it's like, okay, maybe we've done wrong by our fans. He just sold the team to a totally normal, the type of people that buy teams.
No, he sold the team to someone who doesn't give a about basketball and might have ulterior motives when it comes to their casino business.
But, okay, that again, I'm not really trying to argue, but I guess I don't know how to do anything else. Those are the ulterior motives because of the casino business is in direct conflict with trading Luka Doncic. Unlike, so are you real? So this is, I am going to be serious about something for a moment. And I'm not accusing you of doing this, but I really, really don't like when people bat their eyes at dumbass conspiracies they don't believe because it aids an argument that they want to make. If you are arguing that trading Luka Doncic was part of a plot to move the Dallas Mavericks and premeditated and all of it, then say that. If you think that's as dumb as I think it is, then I don't understand the point you made about their casino business.
No, I don't. There's no proof until that actually happens, so I don't really know about all that. But I do think that as a caretaker to a franchise, which is what Mark Cuban was, I think there's a responsibility that when the day comes that you're handing over the franchise, that maybe you make sure it's going to continue to be in good hands.
How do you do that?
You make sure that you're selling it to people who care. I mean, he decided to sell it to anyone who is offering the most money possible, which of course is his right. And by the way, Nick, I mean, how silly is it to assume that he was still going to be the governor of the team?
That I think is the biggest point.
That part I agree with. That part I agree with, even though it now seems like Jeannie Buss actually is going to be the governor of the team. I agree with that part. But I don't hear the end of the... How do you ensure that this one could argue, just for whatever it's worth, that the act of allowing Luka Doncic to be traded shows a more, not committed, but involved owner than most teams have. One would imagine that if it's just, I don't give a shit about this asset, I'm just adding it to my portfolio, that the marching orders would be just status quo it. Don't do anything crazy. Like, I think Nico Harrison was a madman, but I think retrofitting it to Mark Cuban should have seen coming down the pike that if he sells it to the Adelsons, they are going to value the Mavericks so little that they put in charge of it their son-in-law, and he is then going to be enraptured by this GM who then, so all of those things have to happen, and then that GM has to also say, I want to trade Luka Doncic, and be convinced not to tell anyone about it. Like, that is, talk about drawn to an inside straight, that is such an unlikely sequence of events. I think blaming Cuban for it's crazy. I just do.
Nick, I agree with you on those points. There's no way to see that coming. But when you do sell majority stake of the team and you're still nebulous in your basketball, like, I'm going to still be kind of a part of this and, like, be overseeing stuff, but then have something happen that went under your nose, and now it's like, oh, no, I didn't see this.
And you still own 27% of the team, so you're ostensibly going into partnership with these people on they get to make the decisions, and you trust them to do so.
And he hired Nico Harrison. Like, Cuban, by the way, hired Nico Harrison.
No, correct. So all that, to me, is, like, fair criticism. That part I agree with. I just think that what we have is a fan base that has been murdered in a way I honestly think is nothing like, there's been nothing like it since the dude who owned the Red Sox sold Babe Ruth because he wanted to make a play that I think that Ethel Merman was in. And we are looking at the murdered fan base. There is someone standing with a knife over the body, and we're like, hey, who's the person that decided to ship those knives to the hardware store, and who's the clerk who sold it to him? It's like, guys, there is one villain here above all else. And he's the guy who got fired an hour ago.
We're going to let him go in a second. Always appreciate his time. We'll tell you again, even though his son is not on it, Grandpa Nick Wright over the next couple of weeks has a wonderful podcast that he used to do with his son. What's Right with Nick Wright back when he wasn't a grandpa. What is the nature of our bet? Because I'd like to know how it is. DraftKings has told me that they are working on a Corvette, and so I don't.
All right, so here's what I propose. And this is one is just for because I want the whole shipping container rooting in the same direction for the biggest Chiefs regular season game that they've played since Mahomes has been there, because they don't play big regular season games prior to this year. If the Chiefs beat the Broncos by 3.5, I'll give the shipping container plus Tony. Who is it that I talk to every day when I first started? It's Tony, right?
Lewis.
Sorry, Lewis.
Oh,
my
plus
bad.
Lewis. Lewis is.
Plus
Oh,
Tony's
whoa.
in the shipping container.
Whoa, so you're.
That's what I thought. I was confused.
Those Latin guys.
They all look the same.
They all look
We're
the
brothers.
same.
That's why.
Okay, first of all, I've never seen Lewis. I don't know what he looks like. For all
He
I
kind of
knew,
looks like you.
Oh, there he is. What up? Oh, that's a good-looking fellow. You're right.
You can't imagine
but,
how happy you've made him. How much is this bet going to be worth that you're
No,
just
so listen, it's not even a bet. Because I'll be in the clear, because I still feel bad. And Dan, you don't have to put anything up. If the Chiefs beat the Broncos by at least 3.5, I'll give the shipping container plus Lewis $2,500 to distribute amongst themselves.
Per person?
Feel better about. No, relax, Cody. And
What am I,
Cody,
chopped
you're
liver?
about to be cut out from the beginning. You're really on a thin ice. What I would like to do with Dan, but I don't know if now we have time to do it because it's such great content. I would like to do a Super Bowl champion draft, me versus Dan, and whomever ends up with the Super Bowl champion, the other person's got to give them the white Corvette.
Yes,
That's
I like
what
this.
I want to do. But do we have? I don't know how much time you have left in the show. Do we have time to pull that off?
Yes, I think we can.
We're not going to do the draft right now. We will do the draft next week.
Next time you're on, we will do it, but we will commit to that bet. But right now, what you're committing to is the shipping container is rooting 5 people, just because there was confusion about this last time.
Yeah, it's the 4 people there today plus Lewis, so it's $500 a man is what they'll get.
Wow, Lewis is in. Okay.
Just want to put the record straight. That means Mike Ryan is excluded. I'm just putting that out there.
Yes.
I mean, is he there today?
Nope.
No,
So
he's
it's
not here.
$500 a piece is what we're saying.
That's right.
$500 a piece this weekend. All they need to root for is the Chiefs 3.5. Okay. I'll double that. All right. So
Wow.
We're going to have a good
Wait,
Christmas
are we
this
wait a
year.
second. Are we rooting for the Broncos then? Plus the points?
No, God, no. Who said that?
Roy?
Who said that?
What? What? What?
We get $1,000?
see you later,
Yeah.
Nick. Good talking
Bye.
to you.
Can you believe it, folks? We're already halfway through the football season. For many, it's been a frustrating football season, especially those who are fans of the pro team down here. But for others, you have that away trip that was really special. You celebrated, you commiserated, and hopefully you did it all with Miller Lite. That's right, because Miller time makes football time a special time. Game days, they just hit different with a Miller Lite in your hand. From jaw-dropping touchdowns to fantasy heartbreaks, it's the beer that is there for every moment. 50 years of great taste, simple ingredients, and that iconic golden color you can spot from across the room. And here's the kicker, folks. It's just 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces, the original light beer since 1975, and still hitting different 5 decades later. So whatever your game day experience looks like, remember, Miller time is always a good time. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that sells beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Against the spread.
Against the Spread is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Chris.
Oh, you guys know no one's better at this than me. I say Trevor Rogers is going to be bad. He's fantastic. So you listen to me. You definitely don't fade me, all right, people? I am taking the Commanders plus 2.5 against the Dolphins in Spain.
The classic reverse jinx.
You see what I'm doing here. I am trying to reverse this. I know anything I say here will lose, so I'm taking the Commanders plus 2.5 in Spain. Tony, what do you got?
Saz, you know about them New York Knicks?
Yeah.
You know about the Memphis Grizzlies?
Yeah.
What do you know about the Grizzlies?
John Morant hates playing for that coach.
Bad. Grizzlies suck.
He sucks.
New York Knicks, 9.5-point favorites tonight at home against the Memphis Grizzlies.
Dig it.
I'm taking those Knicks with minus laying the points. I don't care. 10, they're going to beat them by 15. I don't
Dig it.
care. I'm going to take the Knicks over the Memphis Grizzlies, 9.5 against the spread.
Excellent job, guys. All right. Hey, Juju, how you doing, man?
What's up, my brother? How you doing?
Well, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm not doing great because I don't know if you heard before, the big news of the day is Nico Harrison has been fired, and I got scooped by a young up-and-coming insider, Shams Charania, when the fact of the matter is I have eyewitnesses here in the studio that I told today I am going to report Nico Harrison is about to be fired.
They'd be ear witnesses, no?
Whatever, man. So, Juju, I'm not doing so great. Not great.
Could have tweeted it out, no?
Yeah, you're right. No, I bear some blame here as well. That's completely fair.
Yeah, I'm an ear witness as well, and it pained me when I saw that tweet come out because one of the first things I heard this morning on the Zoom.
Oh, you were on the Zoom this morning. Okay, there you go.
Zaz walked in and was like, "I got Nico being fired."
Yep.
I'm gonna say that today. Let's get to that.
I'm telling you, I blew it. I really did.
Right.
Greg, that ever happened to you? You got a big scoop and somebody beat you to it? This is the first time it's ever happened to me.
Is that 2 shows in a row? Didn't Mike on the show yesterday say Dayball's getting fired today, and then he got fired later in the show?
That's right.
We're on a streak now, 2 in a row.
That's right.
What are we going to predict? Tomorrow.
Right. I mean, I give some of the blame to you a little bit.
Yeah.
But I still think, like, bro, my brother Dan, he was in a long soliloquy about false starts, like passionate one for real. Like, and then what's the jogging brother, Joe Fix or something like
Jim
he was
Fix.
Jim Fix,
The inventor of running.
We were talking about that. We even circled back to the Dolphins again before we got to even buzzer beaters from last night. It's a lot going on. So yeah, you get a piece of the blame, but not the entire one. I put it on Dan, 100%.
So last night was a really fun night in the NBA. The Heat won at the buzzer. Oh, the Heat are bringing my joy back. The Heat won at the buzzer, and the Orlando Magic won at the buzzer last night.
Finally hit a shot.
That's right. So great night in the association last night. Juju, you got a top 5 for us?
Oh, yeah. It made me think. It made me want to say top 5 buzzer beaters in the history of the NBA.
Oh, history?
Or NCAA. Wow. Yes, sir. Okay. That I can think of also, by the way. Also, salute also to the, we didn't mention this, last night during halftime, a brother got up there and knocked the half-court shot down for the Miami Heat as well.
It was amazing. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I saw it as well, and then I was taking it back. I was like, hold up. That shot was only for $5,000? That's it?
Right. Right. What are we doing?
Dan should match it.
Like Greg, if you were told that someone hit a half-court shot during an NBA, at timeout of an NBA game, how much would your guess be the cash prize was?
$25K.
At least.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. Weird.
Minimum.
Yeah.
But yeah. OLI, Christian Laettner, Duke.
Of course.
That was awesome. Number 5, Michael Jordan over Craig Elo. Nothing but nets.
Yep.
Number 4, the Kawhi Leonard shot that took 1,000 years to go in for Toronto.
7 bounces.
Joel Embiid crying like a baby.
All week long, and there's the snap count. And all you
oh, my God.
Don't flinch. It's a snap count all week, not one time, not one of you all season.
Hello.
Look, since you back, another thing with Dan, I'm sick of him. You be hearing, what's the line on respectable journalism? Because I come in here and say the Buffalo Bills are surprisingly 3-0. I couldn't believe it. I told y'all, I'm so surprised I'm going to throw a parade because we are ass this year. Nothing. The Bills start losing. Guess what? He can't even fathom an explanation for any of this. Where I got to talk to Diana. Salute to Diana. I love you. You are my sister. But your boy's been saying a lot of good stuff. Tony told you the Ravens was good 4 weeks ago.
Thank you, my brother.
And now we got to have on people to confirm that. No deal. No, sir. Number 3, Damian Lillard. Dame time at the buzzer. That was awesome.
Yep.
Silence
Sparked
the
a
entire run. Right. Number 2, Teresa Weatherspoon in the playoffs against the Houston Comets.
Nice.
Oh, wasn't that like a half-court shot?
Right. Confetti was falling from the sky. Teresa Teaspoon said, let's play another one. Salute. Still lost in the series, but salute. And the number 1 buzzer beater ever, come on, man, there's no question. My boy Chris Jenkins from Villanova Wildcats.
Wow.
I see you.
Wow. I mean, I'm surprised that you left off Andrew Wiggins last night. Come on.
honestly, same. I can't believe it.
That was
pretty
exciting stuff, man.
That was magical. Also magical. Salute to the shipping container. To commemorate the shipping container's big win, we got these Dan is wrong right now. Hoodies and t-shirts available right now on LeBatardAF.com. Salute to Lewis as well. Come on, man. Get your money, brother. I see y'all.
Juju, what are the listeners saying in the chat today? Are they enjoying the show?
Yes, they are enjoying the show. Hold on. I got to pull up one of the best tweets, though, from today. Also, salute to the listener of the day, the YouTube listener of the day, my sister, Becca Boo. It was some hating going on in the chat, and she came in and cleared it up with love.
Shout out
salute
to Becca Boo, the girl.
I wonder who they were hating.
Right, exactly. Look, I'm not gonna read this one because it's kind of mean. You know, I'm leading with love. I can't say love and then read this negative comment.
Get your Becca
Not
Boo
gonna
on.
do it. Right. And another thing, the Bills' big signing this summer was Josh Palmer. Oh, look out below. We're signing Josh Palmer, Super Bowl to bust. Like, come on, get out of here with these guys. We're frauds.
Juju, give us some polls.
Yes, sir. Of course, I don't have the polls just ready as I supposed to because I'm ranting. But poll number 1, do joggers feel superior to you? 83% of the audience says, yes, they do.
Hello.
So you're just running. That's all you're doing. You're running in tight shorts and tight shirt, like or no shirt. You're just running. You think that you're better than me
I would
because you got
think.
up early.
I
and
would
you
think
ran?
Tony's pro jogger. This
No,
is
I'm
a
not
weird
a
take for you.
No, I don't like joggers. Like,
No,
go-
that's a lifter.
Go do go do something real.
He doesn't believe in cardio.
Putting one foot in front of the other. Give me a break.
You're not trying to be the best at exercise.
Coming from you.
Oh, God damn.
Right.
Well,
He
support
does
you.
have a soda drinker's body. He was supporting you, but
My bad.
Don't worry, I'm going to keep that in the holster.
I need your support.
Sucker
Right.
by
And
me?
and the Dolphins could have won the game in Buffalo. If you remember, there was one drive away. If not for a bonehead punt running into the punter from Sealer. Salute, Pro Bowler, allegedly. Worst of the cries. Shower cry or car cry? 67% of the audience says car cry, and those are your polls.
you're right.
Thanks, Juju.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Juju.
Sorry about your bills.